Have I played Abzan with Toski? I have, but I played Abzan with Toski before the bans, thinking that like Abzan Stoneblade was pretty good because discard spells were good against the Cascade decks, and you got Deafening Silence in the sideboard. I haven't played it since the bans. I don't like necessarily plan to because I just think Bant is better. But we'll see. You never know. Yeah, one sideboard card for each matchup. Easy. So this is probably Heliod, although I've seen some people play one birds. Okay, this is something cooler than Heliod. What's cooler than being a Heliod? Ice something, I don't know. Guess I should have made blue mana here. A little bit lazy. Naya Trade Binder. What's cooler than being Heliod? Naya Trade Binder. I'm gonna just snap push on my turn for mana efficiency. That's got kind of a painful draw over there. Ghost Quarter? So I guess they have Ren. They do have Ren. Ren and 6 confirmed. Yikes. They don't have a fetch land though. What do I think about the new Royal Scions? I like them a lot actually. Like the red one, like I think on turn you can play it in a Blue Moon control deck, play it, have Remand or Mana Leak up, and then just ultimate it in a couple of turns, and then use that to win the game. And then you also have the option to play the 5 mana Planeswalker, half of it. I'm just pretty into it. They have infinite Ghost Quarters. Not if I snap Cling to Dust Ghost Quarter. Do I think it'll be competitive in Modern? I hope so. It probably won't be. It very few cards end up being competitive in Modern. They Ghost Quarter their own Canopy. Interesting. They didn't even float mana. Very few cards end up actually making the cut, But I at least at the time of making this comment am interested in trying it. So am I going to push this elemental token? I think I am. Have you heard the rumblings of Niv Magus Elemental making a return to Modern? No, I haven't. Return to Modern is also probably a bit of a stretch. A bit of an exaggeration, perhaps. For how can something return that was never there in the first place? Perfect draw. Could hardcast. Maybe should hardcast. This is no longer a hardcast Shark Typhoon stream. This is a Temple to Klothys, by the way. But we can, hardcast for old time's sake. How are you going to take on Prismari Command? It seems like a fringe playable card. Like, it just it competes really hard with Archmage's Charm. Ooh, would have liked to snare that. Competes really hard with Archmage's Charm. Why can't it be both? Well, I'll do some praying. I'll talk to Klothys, see what the big lady says. Why didn't they Ghost Quarter me and return the Ghost Quarter? Weird. Yeah, I'll pray to Klothys, see what she says. That would be very cool if this could still be the Shark Typhoon. Maybe we could be, praise Klothys with the Typhoon somehow. Yeah, you can post links. Although someone was posting links to some adult sites the other day. Just someone spamming, but obviously use your head. I thought the new printing archives were auto-ban historic like Dark Ritual. Not all of them. Is there a pamphlet for Temple of Clothis? Maybe we'll have a copy pasta. Yeah, I like TurboTax. They didn't put in their equipment. This is fine. Surely Stone Rain is going to be a thing. I don't know, maybe. Stone Rain is kind of bad on turn 3 and sometimes. Having on turn 2 is sometimes good. But maybe. Let me see what this is. Wait, why do I have 10 notifications? Faithless looting? What the hell? Is this real? This isn't real. Yeah. Is it real? The art is really strange. Alright, this allows us to enter the story for 4 mana, so we'll just let Rin go up 1. They're not ultimating yet. Why does the art look so like just not? This isn't a real thing, right? Why does the art look so much worse than all the other ones? It looks like just photoshopped. This is a meme. Okay, it looked like a meme, but I wasn't sure. It's pretty good. That's a pretty good joke. That's a good bit. It's like way better than like my MS Paint shit post. So I just wanted to make sure. Dude, 4 mana, make a 7/7 shark, draw 4 cards. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Wait, but also Faithless Looting is coming to Historic? I don't know it's real anymore. Is this the real life? Is this Magic the Gathering? Caught in a Shark Typhoon. No escape to the wilds. It is real. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't know. What is Historic? Does anybody know? Still playing River of Tears after what happened? Yeah, I made my own River of Tears. Maybe the shitpost was just so good people actually put it on spoiler sites, right? Honestly, if this is a fake spoiler, this is like one of the best shitposts of all time. So like huge shout out to Wyatt if this is actually just a goof. Maybe it looks better in like on the card. I guess I'm getting Swamp here in case they Blood Moon. No, I'll get Island actually because I have Double Charm. We also have these Gusts, and they're probably not playing Blood Moon, so. Wyatt is on a list of people with spoilers, so it seems to be fake. Dude, it's, you know, according to what Twitch chat is telling me, it seems to be real. Obviously, I don't think anybody knows 100%, but I really, really hope it's fake. I think it would just be legendary if it was fake. Which is, you know, all we can hope for. Yeah, I really hope that it's fake, because if it is, it's like maybe the best shitpost ever on, you know, Magic Twitter. Wyatt isn't it Wyatt MPO Rivals? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. This is a problem. I'm gonna counter it, hope to draw land. The shop is fake, but the card coming to Historic is real. Alright, well. Still don't understand what Historic is trying to be. I thought I did. I don't anymore. Land Fatal Push, off the top, baby. Let's go. Just pack it in, maybe. I feel like we can't really beat a sword being the Sword of Feast and Famine being equipped. Let's go to game 3. It's like the second time I've played against Naya Tradebinder this week. Deck is on the rise, just like the Magus Elemental. Tails End is something on the play. You just countering a fetch line, it can be fine. Counters Ren and 6 as well. Stoneforge Mystic Trigger. Play 1. There's a recent Naya Stoneblade Tradebinder list on the huge 5-0 dump. That's cool. Also, I don't think we've even talked about it, but deck lists are back. It's pretty cool. It turns out there was no Grand Conspiracy. Again, it just broke for like 2 weeks. How much last league? We 4-1 the last league. You know, Modern does, you know, has seemed to be like mostly immune to a lot of shenanigans that have been going on for the last year, like with standard sets being, or standard formats being, you know, sus at best, and I'm just gonna cycle. A lot of like weird legacy historic things happening. Modern has been kind of like a safe place. I don't know. I mean, not completely safe. Arrow definitely. I don't know. I mean, like, I think that like the 2 weeks of Valky nonsense that we had, really did feel like a perfect. I want to gust. I think I just want to drown. The 2 weeks of Valky we got felt like a perfect showcase of why. No, let me gust. A perfect showcase of why. Despite the fact that Uro was too good for Modern, it was just like very, very different from having just like a really broken, unfunctional format. It's like Uro was nowhere near as oppressive as like the Valky decks were, or like, you know, yeah. So I think I'm drawing 2 here. I would love to draw a land and just drown this with Tails End up, or this is even better. What do you think about Severia's Protection in Historic? I don't really remember exactly what that card does. I mean, there's a lot of odd stuff going on. Yeah, Uro was definitely like really strong, but it also like was beatable, and there was like a lot of play to it, and it did need to go, but we had some good times. We had some good times with our Spider-Man. He had to hang up his costume. Maybe it was better actually to snap push here and hold up drown. Protection is an EDH staple. Yeah, I know it's an EDH staple, but I also don't know what it does. This is not a joke. I know it's an EDH staple. When like someone says Teferi's Protection, my head goes, that's an EDH staple. But I can't tell you like what the effect of the card is. I know it's a 3-mana instant. It protects and phases out everything. Phases out you? Wow. It's weird how many iterations of Modern I've gotten to experience vicariously through me. Can't wait to play against broken decks of paper again. Me too, buddy. I would gladly sit there and just play against Valky all day, every day. Cascade Valky and paper. It meant I got to play a little bit of paper Magic. Just with a smile. Get play a PTQ and get Valkyried on turn 1 through a Force of Negation. 2 hardcast Typhoons today. Pretty good. Maybe more than that, actually. This is fine. This actually happened. I was playing a PTQ, and my opponent, I was playing Bant Squirrel Blade, And my opponent turn 1 Valky'd me, or Tybalted me through a Force of Negation. It was so gross. I think in a spot like this, you just want to keep drawing cards to keep the sharks coming. Are we still high in the inverter deck? I have it prepped for today. I've changed a couple cards. We may end up playing some of it, yeah. I did lose that game. I think I conceded. Like right then. Yeah, huge shout out to Tybalt for going from, everybody was clowning on him, and now he's just broke multiple formats and is a god now apparently. Man, Into the Story with Hardcast Typhoon. That's something else. The ugly art was real. I mean, art is subjective. And I subjectively view this Faithless Looting art as being not that good. Subjectively, not a fan. I'm very curious as to the ratio here. Please only vote once. I don't know if it's set to be able to vote more. You think it just started? I guess. Did it just start, or do you think it just started? Because wouldn't you just be able to see the stream? You're looking to build a paper deck that is competitive. I love the Shark Typhoon deck idea. Do you recommend this deck or Jessica deck? Would you be offended if I copy the deck? I would love it if you copied my deck. That's a huge part of the reason why I play these, is to share my ideas, and hopefully some people can, like my ideas and find some success with them. I would recommend both this deck and Jeskai. I would recommend Jeskai a little bit more at the moment, but if you prefer this one, I encourage you to pick it up and play it. Here's a Heliod. I'm going to leave this for Revolt here. There's a WotC Championship stream going on. I don't know what that means. Yeah, Jeskai's been great. Notably, we do beat Infinite Life because we have a Jace in the deck. And it's also nice because we have Castle Vantress. It's very hard for us to just have the Jace be in the bottom few cards for us to just lose. If we get to go push Spike Feeder into the story here, I'm feeling okay. Oh, they don't have Coco, or at least they're not jamming it. Is just Lotus Field a dead option? I don't know. Maybe. I think that Jeskai Lotus Field is really poorly positioned in this metagame, and I don't really feel like the metagame is going to change anytime soon. That being said, I also love the deck. I actually own it in paper. And I think that Jeskai Lotus Field will find some playability if the metagame becomes more mid-rangey, and if Blood Sun becomes a good main deck option again. Like it was when Field of the Dead was a very popular and played card. How long will it take for Control players to say Control is unplayable again? Some people are saying that. I don't personally agree, but that is a take that people have at the moment. Yeah, I think both Esper and Jeskai are very good. I think this deck is good, has potential. The Sultai Luris deck I've been working on has a lot of potential. Niv Mizzet is also kind of a control deck. So 83 people said they did not know there was a Mythic Champ, and then 28 said they did. It's for pretty big, stark contrast. I mean, I'm just going to let them have infinite life. I'm going to win with my Jace. A gentleman's agreement. You have infinite life, opponent. I acknowledge it, but you must acknowledge that I have outs to your infinite life. Cycle for 0 and push it. I think it's just better to draw 4 cards. This is cool beans are going to go to 100. If you didn't run the Madcap package in the Jeskai list, what would I replace it with? It would depend on how I felt like the specific metagame is. Let me see if I actually... I do usually keep a Jeskai list built with and without it, but I think this one's like a little out of date. With a good, yeah, so like I was messing around with like 2 Stoneforges and a Batterskull for a while. I don't think you want to play this many Ashioks. I think you would want to play like some explosives, maybe some needles. 2 Stoneforges and a Batterskull were kind of like an interesting sideboard plan when people board out a lot of their removal. But it just kind of depends. I also will say I really like the Madcap package at the moment. I think it's like one of the better sideboard plans to be on. Yeah, my opponent can't go to 100. They have an odd interval. Oh man, I remember I was watching the Steve stream one time, and I think it was this situation that was happening, and he was like, he did a poll to guess what number that they would stop on, and I remember I guessed like an even number when they were at an odd life, or vice versa. I can't remember. I was so embarrassed. And he called me out too. I drew my Jace, which is pretty nice. I'm gonna wait on it a bit. I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go snap push on the Skyclave. With Drown up for their turn. Maybe it was better to just kick a Bloodchief's Thirst with Drown up. Yeah, that was probably a bit better. But we're actually just super ahead here. I'm going to wait one more turn. I'm going to go ahead and draw 4 cards to try to play Jace with a counterspell up. I think it would be fine to plus Jace, but if they just hit exactly Skyclave, we lose. So it feels like a bit safer just to make sure that we can try to just try to have a counterspell up the turn we play Jace. And I'm making a 1/1 here just to cycle a Shark, and I have a blocker, not attacking, of course. Yeah, the difference between just having a Jace for spots like this and not is huge. I think that if you're playing control decks at the moment, it's good to have an out to infinite life. That is a big problem with the Sultai Luris deck, is that it just doesn't. Put that on the bottom. We're just saying, okay, you gain infinite life, I draw 4 cards. Usually feels pretty nice. Yeah, I could have just made it 0/0 Shark. It is somewhat relevant to have blockers, though. What is the draw to blue-black over Jeskai? It's mostly a Fatal Push and Drown in the Loch. Those cards are super good. Your mana is also a bit smoother. Get to play more castles. Cling to Dust is a pretty good card. There's a lot, I think. My opponent can never win. I'm not going to bother with the Field of Ruin. Let's just end this game. They can draw that. Weird if they didn't play it. I guess they drew that last turn. They should probably have played it out so they could have shuffled last turn. We get to ultimate next turn. We have a couple of counter spells available. We're doing alright. Well, yeah, I'll make my opponent draw 2 after the Jace ultimate, of course, but they're just going to scoop here. So I do have a Dispel in the sideboard, which is obviously comes in a lot of matchups. But I think being able to counter both Coco and Veil of Summer is really nice. So I'm going to play... This is partially why I have the Dispel in my sideboard. I also do like the Kalitas. I think I need to keep in the 2 forces. Maybe I could play with just 1 copy. I'm going to trim Shark Typhoon. I'm going to trim Cling to Dust. I'm going to trim Thought Scour. Play 1 force. This looks pretty good to me. Yeah, Blightbeetle is also exclusively for this matchup. I mean, I also bring it in against like some random things like Hardened Scales. It's not, you know, just 2 mana win the game like you want it to be. But Heliod is the best deck. It's just good to have sideboard cards for it. Why is this deck only running 1 copy of Jace? Honestly, like, I would not be playing any copies of Jace if I didn't feel like I needed to beat Infinite Life. It's like Into the Story is better than Jace in this deck, in my opinion. Wow, they got Temple Garden so I can Field of Ruin that? It's kind of nuts. Yeah, in my opinion, Into the Story is better than Jace. I would play a 3rd Into the Story over Jace if I didn't feel like I needed to beat Infinite Life. But I don't think you need a 2nd Jace. I think just 1 is plenty. Especially with Castle Vantress, to just like make sure that Jace is not the bottom cards of your library. Too bad they didn't keep both on this Temple Garden. Not quite that lucky. Maybe losing my only fetch land was a bit loose though. Well, they're repping Coco. Thankfully, it's not Coco with Veil. Why no Tarpit? I think Tarpit is not a card that you should be playing in these decks. The tap land is a huge cost, and it's also like kind of a nombo with like Shark Typhoon. You just want all your lands that are untapped. Wow, that is a big old brick, huh? I might still push it. You ever draw 4 cards for 4 mana, kid? No, I don't think we need to... We can just block that with Snapcaster. Or Shark Typhoon. Not Blightbeetle, though, but I will just go ahead and get Blightbeetle down, I think. What are my thoughts on Hammer Time right now? I think the deck's playable. Why not Flusterstorm over Dispel? I'm trying to think about it a bit. Like, my main thinking is that the Heliod deck makes a lot of mana, so like there's like going to be a decent amount of times that they can Coco through a Flusterstorm. Is kind of what I'm thinking. And you know, kind of what I'm worried about. This is maybe unnecessary. But I'm so ahead on cards, just kind of like trading resources. They should be putting their counters on the Heliod, but they realize they can now. Yeah, like right now, if they had Coco, they would just. I mean, not really actually, because we can trigger Storm, but that's at least the thinking. I could be wrong, and I do like Flusterstorm. You know, let's just not lose to Coco here. Like, the only way we lose is if we cast the Thought Scour, and then they get to resolve Coco. Why Dispel over Swan Song? Well, okay, let me reread. I don't think they've errated it. I don't think they've power level errated Swan Song, right? Yeah, it still gives them a 2/2 bird creature token with flying, which is a pretty big threat. You have to kill every creature, so you're just 2-for-1ing yourself with this. How's Jeskai? It's been I've been liking Jeskai a lot. Had a good run last week. Yeah, their Coco just gave him a 2/2 without flying. Yeah, Swan Song gave them a 2/2 with flying. Yeah, you just like can't 2-for-1 yourself in the stack. It's especially when you have options like this that do miss Heliod. I used to play Swan Song and Commander. It was pretty good there. Yeah, this Heliod art is interesting. I like the Heart Spear. But also, like, I guess, you know what? Maybe it's pretty flavorful. Because Heliod killed Elspeth. Spoilers, I guess. Stabbed her in the back, despite seeming like he was nice. White opponent need to go to 100? I mean, it seems like my opponent maybe didn't, completely believe me, which is totally fine, right? Like, I'm sure there are people who lie, so they'll just, like... They're totally within their right to go to 100. It's not a big deal. Losing only to Boggles in round 1. Feeling pretty good about the deck. Having a good time. Yeah, a 2/2 is way worse in EDH than Modern. Will I be doing any Inverter Herder today? I have the deck prepped. My initial plan was to play like 2 leagues of this, then 1 league of Inverter Herder and 1 league of the Red Black Witch's Cottage deck. But if I like 5-0 with this, I might just stick to this today because I'm having a really good time. I mean, my opponent doesn't necessarily know that I'm a streamer. You know what I mean? I think I'm getting Swamp. Nah, let's get the Island. Yeah. I also don't like look at usernames that often. Yeah, I'm not so egocentric that I assume everybody, I play against watches the stream. We're dead. We've lost the game. Can I explain to draw River of Tears over another Watery Grave or Drowned Catacomb? So I don't think of River of Tears really as a dual land is probably how I should talk about it. I think of River of Tears as a basic island that sometimes taps for black. Because, almost always when you're tapping for blue, you're tapping it on your opponent's turn in this deck. And then, so it's like almost always just as good as an island with the upside of sometimes also tapping for black. I still think you want a density of actual islands because we do have, the castles, we do have the Verdant Catacombs, but that's at least my thinking on the issue. I guess I'm going to snap push. Just can't let this value happen. Pretty interested in bouncing that Vial. Yeah, it's possible I should even play more River of Tears, but I hope that perspective at least offers some amount of clarity. Alright, so now I think I'm going to push the Stoneforge Mystic and make a 1/1 Shark to block Wisp. Obviously, you want to let the Mystic trigger resolve before you push because they're going to probably... it will impact their Stoneforge Mystic decision. So their hand is Batterskull, 3 unknowns. They also have this clue. One of the 3 unknowns is a 3-drop. Archon of Emeria. Dude, Maul is so good here. I mean, Maul is just good all the time. We can still bounce the Maul next turn and trade 1/1 Shark for Flickerwisp next turn, I guess. There it is, Batterskull, mystery card, new mystery card after the draw step, include token. Worse than basic island here. I think that we settled on the Faithless Looting being real, but I also am a little worried that today is a fever dream and none of these like this weird historic stuff is just all the product of eating too much fast food. Not sure. It kind of seems like the most likely scenario, though. They select their clue. Their hand is Maul, Batterskull. Apparently lead an Arbiter. No! The one mystery card is Flicker Wisp. Oh, it's another Archon. Okay, fair enough. Pretty dead. Looks like their type of work. I mean, that's fine. Art is super subjective. It also, like, I could also, like, I will say that I have liked the direction that Magic art has gone, where a lot of it is not just trying to please, like, everybody. A lot of it is very divisive, like the metal arts and the Valentine's Day art specifically, where, like, you look at it, and even if you like it, you know it's, like, it's just not for everybody. But the nice thing is that it is for some people, you know? Some people get to look at it like, wow, this like really speaks to me personally. I love this. And I think that that's really cool. I think that I think that it like makes more sense for Wizards to just like try to make art that appeals to people in general and make more safe decisions. But art is better if it is bolder, I think. There's no way the looting art speaks to anyone. I absolutely disagree with you. And I say this as someone who really dislikes the looting art. I'm sure someone really likes it. Just gonna tap draw. They don't have 7 cards in their yard yet. First time I looked at it, I recoiled and I liked it. You know what? And I think that's even a good thing. And without being too much of a, you know. Alright, we can't snap Cryptic because of Archon. You know, if you look at an art and you feel something, you know, maybe that's just what's supposed to happen. And I should probably actually speak to my ethos a little bit here and say that I actually took an art appreciation class in college that I was awake for some amount of the time. That's probably important for me to say. I was awake maybe even as high as 60% of the time in that class. I got a B. It was like 8 years ago now, but I remember it pretty well. Yeah, art that you dislike is better than art that makes you feel nothing. I think I do. I think I agree. Sometimes. Did I miss the one? Yeah, I must have slept through the whole time. I just slept through the bad art part. All right, this is how you identify bad art. And I just slept through that part. I woke up. Wow, there is no such thing as bad art. Man, it was an 8 a.m. class in a big lecture hall. And the lights were always dim. There was just a big projector on the whole time. It was really hard to stay awake. But I did like the class. I did like the parts of the class I was awake for. 8 a.m. and I was awake. Yeah, I've always been a morning person. Or that's not entirely true. But I've usually in my life been a morning person. Is Hollow One historic? If it was an Amonkhet remastered, I think so. My opponent's mulled to 6. I guess I should have probably just got tapped Watery Grave. Kind of wanted to not thin. Rest in Peace is really good against us. I am probably going to lose this game. Do our best, of course. I think I will also steal the Vial. I could also like try to bounce Cryptic. Yeah, I wake up at like I try to wake up at 7:15, but I usually actually get out of bed at like 7:30. Um, I only let one alarm go off though. Although Esther's the kind of person that usually has like 3 alarms go off before she wakes up, but it's fine because I'm like almost always out of bed before she is. Oh no, this game could not have gone worse. I guess it could have, but it's not going very well. Is Tax good? I think it's okay. I would say that there are some decks, but Modern is pretty open, you know? Well, like, you have to have plans for Heliod and Blue-Red Prowess. Like, you can't just really play a deck that you think is so cold to those matchups, but maybe I needed to counter-draw there. Oh, I should have counter-bounced. Yeah, I obviously should have counter-bounced. What am I thinking? Oops. Got me monologuing a bit. Yeah. Shame concede. But then it's still probably just not the best choice for any given tournament at the same time. That's kind of how I think about it. I'm just going to play tap Watery Grave. GG's Wagner. Sorry about the shame concede. I just like totally brain farted on the Crusader. But GG's. And oh, the shame! Conceding to Crusader doesn't. I don't think I could rhyme. Alright, opponent. I, Aspiring Spike, acknowledge you as having a cool brew over there. Excited to see more of it. Oh, I don't know what's happening, but I'm excited. Resolves. Spin to win. A Bloodghast, Ox of Ognas, but they also hit me a Cling. Although with a fetch land, I can't Cling this. White Delta versus Basic Island. I don't really know what I'm playing against, but I was thinking that there was a possibility my opponent plays Blood Moon. So I wanted to be able to get a swamp. I'll counter this one, I suppose. They can cast hollow, or no, they would have cast any hollow ones in their hand already. Although they could have just drawn one off a Street Wraith. So my Thought Scour myself. Exile their Ox. I feel like Modern has returned to the time where people would say it's a format where you can play any deck as long as you're good at it. Yeah, I think that there's truth to that. There's also not truth to it. You know, whenever you're playing a game like Magic the Gathering, you need to establish what your goals are. If your goals are to win as much as you possibly can, then playing your favorite deck is not very often going to be the best choice, as much as I hate to say it. But I do think Modern is a format where, let me actually just like steal the Flameblade Adept now. Well, we can even trigger Flameblade Adept off of Shark Typhoon. They discard 3 Lightning Bolts with Goblin Lore. And another thing I'll say is that if you want to play your favorite deck, if this is your goal, play your favorite deck, it is important to be flexible and be willing to innovate and try new things and not just play the same 75 for your entire life. John, sorry. something in my throat. Why does D&T get trashed on? Death and Taxes is a deck that needs to curve out every single game, which most decks do, right? But it needs to curve out every single game, but it also needs to have a curve that lines up well against its opponents, you know? And just, it's kind of like the combination of those two things that make me personally not be a big proponent of the archetype. Scritch86, thank you for your Twitch Prime subscription. Appreciate you, buddy. That being said, it's probably fine. I think I'm going to not cycle Typhoon, although I think it'll be fine too. I'll also say that specifically I really dislike the Path Exiles that are so counterintuitive to their entire game plan unless they have Lead and Arbiter in play. Alright, never mind. Pivoting. Pivot! Pivot! Oof, not very good hits. Although, can cycle. Awesome, Scritch. Thank you for popping in. Really appreciate the support from the YouTube folks. Should I still Flame Blade Adept before combat so they attack with their Bloodghast and also want to get back to Phoenix? They would get back Phoenix because they have Magmatic Channeler in play. That doesn't matter. And I also am still not blocking Bloodghast. I don't think that my opponent doesn't attack with Bloodghast there. And it doesn't stop them from getting Phoenix. Is this for the modern or legacy version or both? I mean, I respect legacy Death and Taxes. Kind of. It shows Magmatic Channeler with Magmatic Channeler's ability. They're attacking Jace with everybody. Attacking me with the Bloodghast. Just don't tell my friend Mickey that I respect Death and Taxes. Really wish I could double charm here. Might be good to just make a 4/4 Shark. Oh, man, double channeler is so bad though. I guess they can only activate one. I think the play here is going to be make a 1/1 Shark, trigger Flameblade Adept, and steal another Flameblade Adept to get in for 2. And then maybe we can chain some Cryptic Commands together and win. Don't think Drown changes this equation. Charm into land Damnation. I think this is fine. I think I'm looking at trying to train a couple Cryptics and just beat him down. There's a Sultai deck with Lure similar as a 5-out league, but with Ooze, Scour, Drowned, and Loch. What do I think about that? I can't remember if someone. I think that someone. Can you send the list? I want to take a look because people have been talking about it. I don't think that the mana base wants Ooze. I don't think you can play Charm and Ooze. But I am interested in trying to see how they made Thought Scour Drowned work because I'm kind of stuck. 1 Ooze, 1 Jace, 2 Snapcaster, 4 Goyf. I feel like 4 Goyf is too many. 23 lands, 1 Triome, 2 Snover-covered Islands, 2 Swamps. So they have cut the Cryptics and the Charms, which is maybe what you have to do to make this deck work, but I'm pretty happy to get to play those cards. I feel like the second Unearth in the main is a little weird. Maybe it's fine. I kind of like 1 main, 1 side. Alright, just gonna take 8 here, I think. Could also double block here. Take 10, but we get to kill this. This is better. So how many? We have one more Shark Typhoon in the deck. If we draw a Cryptic Command, I think we're in a pretty good shape here. Or Damnation, I guess. Probably we had like one more way to discard cards here. If only this triggered on draw cards. So now if we go block, block, or block, block, we die. Steal this, die to the phoenixes. Right. Does land cling to dust let us live? I think it might. So let's play to that. Little late on the cryptics and the damnations. This is interesting though. I think that this is an interesting take. I really think I want to try to play charms and cryptics in that deck though. I think I like the gusts. I think I like the forces. I'm going to cut the Thought Scours. Oh, I need the jailers too. Jailer stops Bloodghast and Ox, and Phoenix. So maybe we can cut the Bloodchief's Thirst, the Jace, Shark number 4. Seems fine. This is probably a bad matchup. If I had to guess, I'd say this is a bad matchup. Have I played Pioneer lately? No. Modern's just been pretty good, you know. To beat a dead horse, which is all the stream ever does. I'm looking at Faithless Looting Art and it's really growing on me. Yeah, I might end up loving it too. Maybe we could play the Sultai Luris deck and be like more in on Jace and play like 6 discard spells and no Force of Negation and 4 Drowned Catacomb and just be like more of a rock deck. I feel like the biggest draw though is you get to play like 3 and 4 drops with Luris because you get to play Charm and Cryptic though. It's kind of interesting. Modern is great because the top 3 decks aren't as oppressive as the previous. Yeah, I agree. It's like the best decks in the format are like super beatable, somewhat linear decks, and you know, not every deck can beat every deck, but that just will never be true. Just make sure that they don't hit both of my Watery Graves off the Inquiry. Is it Charm? Is it Charm in the graveyard? Is it Charm is exactly Faithless Looting, of course. I did get my Aether Gust. Into the Story is great in this matchup, though. A little easy litmus test to see if Into the Story is great in a matchup is if your opponent is playing Magic the Gathering, then you probably have a great Into the Story matchup. They also discarded no lands, and they still missed their second land drop. I don't know if that's lucky or unlucky. Guess unlucky. But it's also like they could just as easily discard the lands they draw. Maybe. What do I think about Into the Story in the Yu-Gi-Oh meta? It's probably like Yu-Gi-Oh's numbers are just so much bigger than Magic's. It's probably not in a good spot, right? I'm gonna counterbounce. Yeah, most Magic cards wouldn't line up very well in a Yu-Gi-Oh game just because of how big the numbers are. You need 700 cards in your opponent's graveyard for Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the Story. Yeah, it seems tough. It's fine. It's gonna jam this before they can spell pierce it. Nice. Would you pay half your life for a free counter? Yeah, it depends on the matchup. Like that kind of this theoretical custom magic card, pay half your life, counter target spell for 0 mana, would be terrible against red decks, but good against combo decks, good against control decks. Hard cast Shark Typhoon, number 3 or 4 of the day. Do you literally faithless looting? Discarding Bloodghast and Ox of Ognas. It's probably going to be a little too late for them. Would this new faithless looting card be good in Modern? No, you usually want to keep your cards in your hand in Modern. I don't think it'd be pretty bad. I'll block Snapcaster and the Ghast. Yeah, it's also literally unplayable in Modern right now. Can't block? Why? Yeah, maybe if it only had you discard 1 card, it'd be fine. You can pay for Spell Pierce. So I'd like to draw 4 cards here, and I'd like to make a 7/7 Shark. Pay 2 for Izzet Charm is worth over Cling. Wait, no, they didn't counter with Izzet Charm. They killed my Jailer. Yeah, almost had me. Yeah, almost had me. Maybe with the 3rd Force. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I would play a 3rd Into the Story in this deck over Jace if the Heliod deck didn't exist. I guess I'm keeping this. Hopefully they play another turn 1 Flameblade Adept. We also haven't seen Hollow 1 this game, but obviously they have 4 in their deck. Why does Slivers have a higher metagame representation than humans? Well, Slivers is one of the best decks in the format. We've been lucky enough to dodge it today, but I'm so scared of it. That's true, just like never mulligan against the Burning Inquiry deck, maybe. It's probably not a good rule. Yeah, CMC for boomers. It's probably going to take me a while to figure out, or to learn mana value over CMC. Never mulligan ever? Good advice, honestly. Faithless Looting is just like taking a mulligan too. So I'm assuming they have Izzet Charm. And just their 5-card hand is like a little weak and they don't want to loot. The 3-mana Hollow 1 here. Alright, 0-mana Hollow 1. And a Flameblade Adept. So let me go cycle this. Don't think it matters much. I'll just hit the Spell Pierce. Push. We need a Drown to kill this. We maybe have some time. No, never mind. We just drew the Drown. Get a main phase because our opponent has showed us Spell Pierce. They also have Izzet Charm, which is like a Spell Pierce. So it is going to be kind of interesting if we choose to play around a counterspell on my Into the Story. I really think they have Izzet Charm because they shocked in Steam Vince on turn 2, so I think we are supposed to not just jam Into the Story here. Obviously, my opponent could go like land, hollow 1, and I can tap out. How do you Burning Inquiry play out in paper? Do you play them face down and pick? Usually the best way to do it is to lay the cards face down and then roll dice to determine what cards go where, because it is always possible that your opponents can like figure out which cards are where. I mean, Ox is pretty good, but you can just draw 4. Four cards is a lot, guys. Math with Aspiring Spike. Gusting on my turn so I don't have to go to discard. I think I'm going to fetch as well. They put it on top, which is what I wanted to have happen. I usually respond to Burning Inquiry with a Notion Thief. Genius. I feel like we can just let Goblin Lore resolve. We have answers to Hollow 1. Although they discarded an Ox. It's pretty good. If they do something first, though, we can go Cling on Ox. So I think I'm going to drown their Hollow 1 and then hardcast Shark Typhoon. Which, like, they just can't answer it. We're going to be at 19 life, and just not sure how they beat it. Guess they get Burning Inquiry all my spells away, but I still have at least Cling to Dusts. They discard an Ox. Alright, that's maybe how they get back into this game. Although they bolted me, is that better than getting back their... Oh, I thought they had another Flamewake Phoenix in their graveyard. Did that get exiled or something? Or did I gust? I can't remember. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Also looks like they have a Hollow 1. They started paying cost, and they haven't discarded 3 cards this turn. So I think that they've got Hollow 1. It's going to start off by drawing 2. I think you just really want to be drawing cards, keep the cards flowing in this matchup. Cryptic Command is great. Even if it gets Spell Pierced, you just get a 4/4 Shark. Which is not even that bad for us, because if they counter it, we get to block both of their Phoenixes. We're 1 point short of lethal. What?
Smoothie King Day.
Oh, awesome. Happy Smoothie King Day to me. I think I'm just going to go counter tap here. This game is pretty over. Alright, 3-1. I do think that the river is like a little better, but pathway's pretty good. Do you have any allergy medicine?
Mm-hmm.
Can you grab me one?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, Polluted Delta go. The mirror match, perhaps.
Tiny pill, so you should be able to drink it with your smoothie.
Okay. I don't know. Think we can handle it? They Thought Scoured B, and they hit 2 Cling to Dust. I think we are playing the mirror, actually. It's kind of funny. Never mind. I'm going to counter this for mana efficiency's sake. Could have maybe let them mill me a couple times. Take my Cryptic. Not my Shark. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Also, is anybody watching the PT? How is Nassif and Spider Space doing? They missed their land. Man, taking Cryptic over Shark when they're missing lands is kind of weird. Maybe not. Nassif lost run 1, bummer. Definitely rooting for Nassif, but you know, maybe Nassif can't win every single tournament. Yeah, there's a PT today. I did a poll to see what percentage of people knew there was a PT today versus not, and like almost 80% of people in chat did not know there was a PT happening today. I think this is worth crypticking.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, a combination of like my audience not being that interested in arena formats / Wizards not doing a great job promoting their premier level tournaments. Like a real PT. I mean, it's not called PT, but it's like the same level events, you know? It's the same thing. Or, you know, effectively the same thing. Yeah, my audience, that is true. My audience should be like literally the audience for this type of thing, right? It's, you know, super enfranchised players who want to play competitively. I agree completely. Like, my audience should be in tune with it, but I understand why they aren't. Please tap out. Yes, the Kaldheim Championship is what it's called.
Not modern, no care.
That's totally fine, right? Yeah. I also will say that standard formats like 2 months in are way less interesting to me too. This late, I really liked it when PTs were like the second week of standard or like, you know, first week of standard. I thought that was a way better way to do it. You're drawing 2 cards? That's cute. I'm gonna cast Into the Story though. Archmage's Charm Resolves. Yeah, the format is historic and standard. I'm just double Thought Scouring them. We milled over a Cling to Dust. It's kind of a problem. It's probably fine. I'd say I have counters for days. I don't think I'd say anything so cocky and brash like that. I might say that we're streets ahead, yeah. Good thing I've got this Drown. Good thing I've got this Archmage's Charm. It's like kind of an early concession, but I guess I get it. Let's bring in the Dispel, the Disputes, cut Bloodchief's Thirst, cut Thought Scours, Kalitas just dies to drown. It's not like they are going to have no removals. I don't think I want that. I don't really think I want the third Force. I think 2 is like even kind of pushing it because their deck is just so creature heavy. I guess we'll just play 2 Thought Scours. I might choose to be on the draw in this matchup. I mean, I don't have the choice this game, but I kind of feel like choosing the draw makes sense to me. It's just like we're playing draw go for a while, probably, you know. You can't Tails in ninjutsu. You can. I guess this is what I get for trash talking Bitter Blossom. Alright, to all the Bitter Blossom gamers out there who have been asking me about this card for a while now, I will concede Bitter Blossom is good against the blue-black control deck. I will concede. Bitter Blossom good against blue-black control. And I'm going to bring in Kalitas, though. Can maybe race Bitter Blossom. And if blue-black control is super popular, then you can play Bitter Blossom. I think we also keep this. Seeing Bitter Blossom, I'm not going to choose to be on the draw. It's a good draw. Yeah, blue-black control is the best deck in the format. I encourage you to play Bitter Blossom.
I jogged a mile.
That's good. Me too.
Sure.
I guess we have to counter Soaring Thought Thief because we don't have a removal spell in our hand. They don't have it, which is really good for us. Hope Pack Rat makes a comeback as well. I've always wanted to play a Pack Rat Training Grounds deck. I feel like that would be really fun. Too bad that you can't have Zerda as a companion too. Be kind of funny if Zerda said you can play only permanents with activated abilities, and Training Grounds is fine too. They Thought Scour themselves, which I guess makes sense against the Cling to Dust. Then they Thought Scour me. Zerda can go main deck. Yeah. I know. So what I like about doing this is that this is going to turn off their Drown to the Lochs. So potentially I can slam Kalitas here. Which I think is fine. I have to go to discard if I don't. I've got like so much gas in my hand. And again, their main answer to this, if it resolves, is Drown, and we can manage our graveyard with Cling. Was Bitter Blossom good in Standard? Yeah, Bitter Blossom was actually one of the first cards ever banned in Modern. I think it was pre-banned in Modern. And then it got unbanned in like 2014, I think. And it's just never really done very much in the format. Yeah, Fairies was yeah, from I didn't play Standard back then, but from what I understand, it was one of the better decks, yeah. Alright, we're pretty ahead here. Ahead on cards, ahead on mana. Hand's really strong. I think I'm going to fire off Cryptic here. Again, with this into the story in my hand, I just kind of want to start trading resources. Not just wait forever. Don't really think my opponent has like Jace the Mind Sculptor they can tap out for. They also can't drown this. Lightning Helix and Historic? Oh man. Why does Historic just keep getting cooler every minute? What's up, guys? It's Arena user Aspiring Spike here. Yeah, it doesn't have quite the same ring to it, does it? Yeah, friendship ended with Magic Online. Now Arena is my best friend. That's a really good couple of draws. But it's down to just 3 cards in hand. Have you ever thought about Yehini's expertise as a board wipe? Empty board, draw 2 for free. Thing is, I think Damnation is just so much of just a much more efficient board wipe. Right, I'm gonna try not to get got by Fallen Shinobi, so I'm gonna push the Borrower now. If they drown us, we can actually. I guess Clean to Dust can't stop drown because we're gonna have at least 1 card in our yard, right? Because we can't Clean to Dust itself. I was trying to think. Just block with Shark. My opponent has shown me Fallen Shinobi, so I'm like legitimately concerned about Fallen Shinobi. They only have 1 card in their hand, yeah. Oh, sorry. I also get to block. I don't know why I thought that like they just got to Fallen Shinobi me no matter what. I just get to block, of course. Yeah. All right, so back-to-back 4-1s with blue-black control. Liking the deck a lot. Like, I mean, one of those losses was to Boggles. Does that even count? It counts, but I'm liking the deck. I think it's good. I will also say that like Drown just feels like such a good card to be on. I'm going to spend some time trying to figure out the best way to make Drown work in the Solte Lura stack. It's going to take some time. I was trying this morning and getting pretty stuck. So I decided to play Dimir to see if to see how best to try to make that work. I'm going to try. That being said,